right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Tech Packs Are Due. I am your lone host today, senior footwear designer Jake Bergini. Caulin is just, man, if I can help you understand how Caulin's life is going right now. He just got a position, and he's everywhere and nowhere. The guy goes on vacations. I don't know what, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. Anyway, so it's just going to be me today. But we're still going to have a good time. This might be a little shorter episode because it's just me. You don't get the funny banter of Caulin and I, or even a guest and I. But hey, nonetheless, we are here. Like and subscribe, YouTube, Spotify. That's where we are. I am not putting any more effort into Apple accounts until we I don't know, until we get a little bit bigger. Feel like YouTube and Spotify suffices. That is where most people do their listening to things. Man, my eye is itching. Woof. All right. Okay. So yeah, welcome to the only footwear design podcast. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts to talk about shoes, but I feel like we are the hoping that as we keep going, and I say this all the time, as we keep down this journey, keep talking to people, our guests are legit. You hear from me and Caulin. Caulin's now going to get, hands-on, swoosh level learning and knowledge. So now he's going to be a source. If you saw his Instagram post, give him a shout out, give him a thumbs up. But yeah, so, I'm going to be a source. Caulin's a source. And we'll continue down the guest line. Happy to say that we have lined up 2 more guests. We are getting pumped. I hope everyone's getting excited for these guys. I'm not going to tell you who they are yet, but we have 2. And then I have a couple kind of on hold, kind of on standby that I've been just kind of leading on, but I have every intention to get them on the show. Yeah, we are, we're just, plugging along. Everyone saw the post about portfolios. Caulin and I got a message from a listener who said, "Hey, love for you to review portfolios. Love to know how we can stand out better to get footwear jobs." I think that's awesome. We will jump on that ASAP. It just, we're trying to figure it out because, like I said, on Instagram, like we got, I put that out, and there's been times where I put out polls and stuff and just kind of being funny and just kind of trying to track the engagement of our audience on Instagram. And, I've done some polls where we got 0 votes. I mean, maybe 1, might've been myself, like voting on my own thing just to make sure we got something. But it wasn't like high. So I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to put it out there because of this message. I want to say, hey, like if you have portfolios, I don't want to just like have it be one person's thing. I want it to extend out to the community. The response was incredible. I will say that we were a little overwhelmed at the response. I knew portfolios were kind of a good subject. I didn't know how good or how touchy. So Caulin and I are getting together when he gets out here to Portland, and we are going to like sit down and figure out what we're going to do with all that stuff. We have reviewed a couple portfolios already. Trying to think how we want to break it down. Some of them have been short enough that we're like, oh, well, I can just like rip through that one. Caulin wants to show his, I can show parts of mine. Just to kind of show, what different levels of portfolios look like. And certainly like if in the meantime, if you're looking for stuff, just like, Behance still exists. You can just jump on and, search footwear design. I'm sure you'll find some good stuff. And, there's Instagram accounts, plenty of them now out there where you can look and say, you can measure yourself up. Like, how do I measure against this guy, against this guy? Um, and it's like, it is how we work. So I would say some of the portfolios I already looked at, I'm already measuring them based on like off of each other, and I'm measuring them off of what I see in the industry. I think it's also interesting. We'll get into it. Is it will measure it based on like what type of position you're going for. Um, if I'm hiring for an associate, I'm going to be a lot more lenient with an associate than I would be with like a footwear one, than with a footwear two, with a senior level talent. Like I would be looking for, there are things specific that we are looking for at each of those levels. And, I know people say like, hey, if you see a position on LinkedIn, like apply for it. But sometimes I feel like if it is a senior level position and you just know in your heart and soul, like you are like in your heart of hearts, like you're not senior level talent, like don't put your name in that. It's just, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I go both ways. Like you can do it, you can apply. Just know that you're going to get measured up against other people who are at that level, sometimes above, and good luck. So yeah, so we're going to look at that. Some of it might make sense to break it down into single projects, and then bring it onto the iPad, draw over, try to say, hey, like, here is your thing. This is how I would do it. Hey, here's your thing. This is how I would change the silhouette. I've already seen some where I'm like, man, these silhouettes are not good. Or like when you get into a sketch page, sketches should be, they should ignite a fire. They should, because what sketches are really is just like a an attempt to get at what's possible, um, and it should be exciting. It should be live. It should be alive. Um, Sketch pages should just be what breathes life into a project, what gets people excited. So when I see sketch pages that are like not there, they're not filled with that energy, I'm just kind of like that. I think that would be the first thing that I would call out. Um, so we're gonna dig into that as we go along. So we got guests, we got portfolio reviews, we got another sketch sesh here. I don't even know if I'm gonna do like a regular episode or a hybrid sketch sesh. But we talked about a couple of things. I'm gonna lay it down today. We'll see how that goes. See if you guys. I'm just gonna do it because I think we talked about it. And yeah, so we're just gonna continue. And yeah, there's no reason to not say it out loud, but um, I think the sketch over of the Shy was pretty successful. And so today we talked about the Jordan 40 last time. We're going to continue on that road. Um, and, Colin and I had a little back and forth on what could make the Jordan 40 like a little cooler in our eyes. So I'm going to lay that down on the sketch pad tonight. We will see how that goes. I've already pre-done it. I think it looks okay. I wouldn't go out of my way to say like it's better than anything. But there are things I would like to have seen. And so like, it's, whatever. It is no discredit to any of the great work that's already gone into that shoe. It's just fun. It's fun to draw over shoes. It's fun to draw not on my project. Um, it's fun to just kind of like go over something without the scrutiny of, probably 130 people that the Jordan 40 probably went through. It's one of those things where I do not envy that position. I think if you find yourself there, you're probably meant for the role. I'm not, and I'm not a part of it, but it's fun to be an outside observer. Just kind of add, kind of like Colin said last time, it's like, um, that's kind of how the creative process goes, right? Like someone puts something out into the world and inspires something else and something else, and like dominoes keep falling, and it's just progression in the design industry. So yeah, we're keeping going on the Jordan 40 road today. That'll be kind of the main part of this episode. Um, but as always, we like to start with a little sneaker news, and I think pretty awesome. I think the biggest thing, hands down, in my eyes, of what's happened over the last week is LeBron 23 has been teased out, and I'm telling you right now, when I saw it, I was like, "That's straight up genius." The clever nature of the design is pretty great, and I think we've all seen a little bit of it. I'll be showing it up here on the screen, but I just think it's something where it's like, yeah, if someone came up to me with a sketch for LeBron 23 and it was basically the LJ crown logo, the LeBron crown logo as a shoe, like full lateral side view, looks like his logo, I'd be like, yeah, why haven't we thought of that yet? Let's do it. Because really, like, what happens is it goes one of two ways, right? Like, if you put that logo on the side of the shoe, it's brilliant until you start to make it. And then you're like, well, we probably should try this first. I don't know if it's going to go well, but if it does, it's kind of a no brainer. Um, and so that's you know, that's not any issue with design. Um, it's one of those things that's so clever. You got to make it and like see if it's going to hold water. And whoever, I mean, man, the samples look fantastic. I know Nike does that thing where they try to black out the sample shoes and, you know, try to make it look like we're not going to like take HD pictures of everything. Like no one has a iPhone 16, 17 just waiting in the wings, like to snap pics. Um, and like, obviously LeBron is one of the most public figures on the planet. So it's like, if he wears a new pair of shoes, that's the first thing anyone's taking a picture of, and we see the LeBron logo on the side. But I will say, just from what we've seen so far, the upper and how the upper and the midsole, outsole, all those things are being attached is done at such a high quality. The IRO with the like it might be plastic, it might be, like a corded band, but whatever it is, um, I mean, just done and executed at such a high level. The seam taping at the bottom, whether that's like skin or whatever it is, around the logo or the midsole that is the LeBron logo is awesome. I mean, like it's such a big statement. I was saying this the other day to somebody. Um, it's a huge statement to go out and to wear like bright pink shoe. Like Rad like showed up at the CrossFit Games, and I don't know if anyone saw this, but like a lot of people did, at least in that fitness world. That they were, I mean, Rad put out bright pink shoes for the CrossFit Games, and people wore them, and you could see them from a mile away. It's hard to make a bolder statement than that. And I was just thinking, like, well, I think the only way to do that is to just make a big giant logo be the shoe, like, um, which is like, Nike does that all the time. They put giant swooshes. I think they've tried to figure out like what's the biggest, you know, swoosh they can put across the shoe, um, because they want brand recognition. They want like, the Alpha Fly. They want LeBron. They want those shoes to be like billboards. Like, come rep us. um, and sometimes they do it in material. We talked about the GT Cup 4 last time, where it's like you see that and you see iridescence, and that draws you in. But this is like in its own way, like a big giant logo being the midsole of the shoe is pretty clever. Like, and pretty like it. I mean, I think it's been done before, and sometimes again, it's like it either goes one of two ways. It either hits and you're like, yep, the logo is now the shoe, or it just like bombs and you're like, well, it's scrapped and it never sees the light of day. But because it's seen the light of day, I'm guessing Nike's pretty pleased with how it's executing. Um, and I agree. I think that's a pretty good move, to make it like that. Now, again, we'll see what the tech spec comes out, how it all comes together. But so far, so good in my eyes. Like, I love when shoes get teased out like that, and they're actually like pretty solid, or they're a little more iconic. Like, I think we've seen like some KDs get teased and stuff, and I'm not like, it's not one of those things where I'm like wondering what it actually is. This one, I'm like, oh man, they tried to hit us over the head with the LeBron logo. That's pretty cool. Let's see what happens. Let's hear them out on that at least. Um, Pretty excited. To say everything. Yeah, I said everything. So, all right. Well, I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen in footwear so far this week. A lot of track and field championships going on. A lot of cool spikes showing up, but nothing. I don't think there's anything debuted necessarily. Yeah, and then basketball's kind of in the off season, so it's just fun to like even get a glimpse. What else? Yeah, CrossFit Games. I'm happy to be a part of Rad and see them show up the way they did. Pretty awesome. CrossFit, if you haven't watched that, I mean, I don't think we can even understand the level of uh, fitness that these people are achieving. I mean, I can't. But yeah, I don't know. Footwear has been a little silent the last week or so. But LeBron, that's explosive. You gotta give a shout whenever you see a new signature come around, because a lot of work's gone into it. That is for sure. The other thing I think is super cool, now that I think about it, after the LeBron 23, hey, my last shoe for Brooks came out, Cascadia 19. It's in collaboration with John Gisbert, who we had on the show. I was working on that shoe. I did a lot of pre-work, a lot of pre-engineering, and then a lot of seasonal work for it. And then John took it home as I left Brooks. But it is a amazing shoe, in my opinion. I mean, Cascadia has been a staple for Brooks for years and years and years. Scott Jurek is a big proponent for the Cascadia back in the day, running the Appalachian Trail. All of these guys, I just, when I got handed that project, I thought, this is a big deal. This is franchise name for the brand. And I just want to kind of hit it. And so while I did the Cascadia 18, I think the 19 was just like, we were given all the green space to bring that shoe where it needed to go. It needed to be lighter. It needed to be faster. It needed to be snappier. We got better foam. We got a better plate. We got better lugs. We got some tech from innovation. They were saying, hey, we're testing out this lug. You guys can use it. It's working. We used it. I mean, it just all came together. We had a great upper that was like a one-stop build, with some print on it that was like protective and super good. We were able to use that. We got some cords. We got some like interesting materials for that. I think just everything came together. And then John, of course, after I'm gone, takes it across the finish line. Of course he would. The graphic tee plan on the upper, amazing. Color team came together. They took it to the next level as well. From round 1 to round 2, I mean, they really, enhanced the design by picking solid colors. I mean, it's just stands out on the trail, stands out in imagery. I think everyone's wondering what's going on. I think people are excited. there was just, I just remember going into that project, there was a YouTuber, a shoe reviewer, who basically just said that the only reason he had a Cascadia was to remind him of how good all the other shoes in the market were. And I just remember taking that personally, and I was like, you know what? It's not going to be the case here. We are going to take this shoe where it needs to go. It is our number one trail shoe. It's going to take that spot back. It's going to be true to that name. And I hope everyone's excited for what that Cascadia is going to do for them. I think I've worn mine. I love them. I'm going to buy more pairs. Um, I'm basically maxing out my wallet, just trying to keep up with the archive I'm trying to build of my own product. But um, man, I gotta have it. It just looks too good. It's you know, good on us for taking chances. Um, and you know, John, when he was on the show, was talking about you know, shooting shots, and we talked about, you know, how many shoes do you get to have in your career? How many shoes, you know, how many times do you get to like design a shoe that makes it to the market? And so if you get handed a project that you know is going to, you know, go all the way, um, you know, shoot the biggest shot you can shoot, you know, and I think we did it, and we shot as big as we could shoot at that time. And I hope that the next Cascadia builds on those shoulders. But you know, we had excellent help. We had 3D, like finally stepping into the midsole geometry game, into the sidewall. I mean, the whole thing, top to bottom, was such a awesome team effort. And to see that shoe being worn in competition, it's crazy. Cascadia would never be worn in competition. Brooks had other shoes that were taking that spot. And so to see it kind of come alive and reclaim some of that trail glory is has just been amazing. But anyway, we will take that W. Tech packs are due W, and move on to the next one, and then do. Let's do this Jordan 40 sketch over. Let's do this exercise. Let's continue rocking. Okay, so everyone knows I am not. I am not. Messing around here, that I am taking this seriously. I have gone through and deleted everything that I started with. I have demoed this already, so I am ready to go, ready to lock in. So Jordan 40, right? We talked about it last time. If I had to go in, it's kind of, it's such a simple shoe. But it's also complex in a lot of ways. I'm not, again, this is me going straight out the gate and saying, I think Leo Chang and team did an excellent job on this shoe. The finishes, the quality, second to none. You know, Nike comes in and does their thing. The shoe I'm seeing is performing pretty well in, you know, with basketball players, which I think is huge. I mean, it's hard to like, the street to lifestyle thing is one thing, like court to street or whatever, performance off, you know, on and off court. But I will say, like, I see this shoe and I just, you know, see some things that I'd like to see differently. But if it doesn't perform well, it doesn't matter what it does off the streets, like or off the court, it's going to be, you know, not at that same level. So if it does both, then it can transition to off court. Which it sounds like it's doing. It was a heavy shoe. You know, for real, I will not undersell that. That is something that, like, I think basketball needs to work on, like, tremendously, is the weight of basketball product is intense. Okay, but with that said, I will say that I'll break this down, kind of what I'm thinking. There is some things that just kind of like I don't understand, but it's only light. I mean, most of the shoe is going to remain the same. I'm not going to change, like, the heel part basically is locked in. Basically, most of the toe is locked in. I will say, like, first and foremost, like, I'm getting rid of that. I mean, this to me is like the most bothersome thing. And maybe we'll have it come out to be a vote on uh, online on Instagram or something like that. That to me is just like that does not have to be there. It just doesn't. And then my next thing is perhaps if this is gone, you can see where like the upper stitch and turn has to like bend around this cord to make a nice pattern. But if that's gone, I think what we can do is we can take this down here and then easily connect it here. And if you saw the episode, um, I make that pretty clear that that's what I want to do. It seems like such a simple thing to just like connect, because I feel like on the medial side, I don't have that loaded up, but on the medial side, they do match up. This one comes down to like here and it matches up with the color blocking. It goes right down, matches up. So I just think on the lateral side, it would just be interesting if we had that. The other thing I mean, launch colorways are launch colorways, right? But something about this launch colorway like doesn't hit like I want it to hit, like this is another thing I want to address. Like I'm not sure like about this blocking, how it is right now and like blocking this together. Where we've seen other colorways come out and they can grab this piece as well. I think that would be advantageous for this colorway. Also, I'm not sure about like this tan. So I would grab these and bring them together. And then I would switch this tan to black. That's just like how I'm feeling when I see this shoe. It's just like it needs something. I like this color on this rubber, but again, it's like one of those things where it's clear. It's like this clear, hazy, like kind of cloudy, milky white. Would it be better if it was something a little more closer to home, like those Jordan blues that we've seen in the past? That's like see-through, but it's got a little bit of tint in there, a little opacity. We're going to try that as well. So let's do it. Let's roll it. See what we get. Spoiler alert, since I've done this, I don't think it's like a crazy upgrade. But I just think it's like takes maybe something that was meant for a launch to like the next level. Maybe not. Maybe you guys don't agree. You just like the classic the way it is, and that is fine too. I am not here to say like I'm doing anything amazing, but I want to at least demo like how I would take something like this and ask some questions. So without further ado, let's do it. Yeah, so first thing I think we talked about last time is like you got to grab local color, and if you're going to do these airbrushings, you got to stay like with the actual color of the shoe. I tried doing a clone on this, but honestly, the clone stamp of Procreate is vastly inferior to the clone stamping of Photoshop, and that's just the tool how it is. As we are going, I'll just kind of comment. Yeah, I think it takes a little bit to kind of finesse it, go a little light. Again, in no way am I suggesting that everyone should be out here drawing over Leo Chang's shoes. I'm doing it because I feel like I've at least reached some kind of level where I at least am not butchering something. So I would say, yeah, whatever that means. I'm not like, I'm not nobody where I'm going to just like mess up a shoe for no reason. That looks okay. It's not great, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it super good for the demo. just go in here, hit some spots. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, I really don't. I mean, I think this stitch and turn could be a lot tighter, you know, if it just had some room. Didn't have to fight with the cording. So I'm gonna come in here and kind of help it out. Sometimes I'll go light, take the opacity way down and try to match tones and, you know, blend a little bit. So there we go. So that's gone. And, you know, thank goodness for that. I just can't do it. It just didn't make any sense to me. You know, tell me in the comments if you guys think like that's better, if it's worse. Do we need that? Do we not need that? But I just want to pose the question: is it necessary? And so, that's that. Next, I just want to add back a little bit extra highlight here, so you can pick up the top line. Just make sure I did it right here. But there you go. So that essentially is like basically all I want to do when it comes to the design of this shoe, and then add this crease here and this parting line. But I think the thing that I think will take it to the next level is coming in here. Yeah. Coming in here with a pen, new layer on multiply. I'm only going to use multiply on these because I think that's all we got to do. But I want to make the toe black. I really feel like that would kind of soften the story a little bit. And then first and foremost, we're going to take it, or not soften the story, kind of help unite it. I just don't know what this other color is doing for us. And you guys, again, you know, you can tell me whether you like it or not. But this is how I'm feeling about it. Okay, so, and one thing I haven't done that I want to do on this is, because we're going to make a little bit of, make some color noise here. We need to keep everything blocked separately. So I'm making the toe cap its own piece. And I can tell you, I already feel like just by making this black, it's just like a little bit more dynamic to me. Like, I just think if I'm putting out the Jordan 40 for the first time, and I'm putting out like, you know, I'm just, I just think that already starts to get at like something a little more dynamic. The blocking, like this is a little sharper. You really pick up the midfoot. That's just how I feel about it. Again, another multiply layer here. We've learned through seeing other colorways that this toe cap rubber piece is its own separate piece that can be blocked. So I'm going to grab that as well, put it on its own layer, and block it. And I'm just like proposing these changes. Like, this is, like, I just think there's something, and you know, these things are probably coming. They're probably on the way. I'm just antsy. Again, but if I'm talking on the context of what is a launch colorway of a shoe, I just can't give it away. Like, I can't. I want to hit it hard on the first colorway, get everyone excited about the shoe, you know, like as a whole. And I think, I don't think anyone's not excited. I mean, it's hard to get a good read on what the reception of the Jordan 40 is. Some people are like it's a return. Some people are like it's lazy. We talked about it. I think Colin hit the nail right on the head. This might be a real, but I think Colin hit the nail on the head that you know it is really, they did a really good job at very, very subtly hinting at um, a lot of Jordan icons without overdoing it, which I think is such a hard, fine line to, to walk. It's really hard um, to have restraint, and that's something I'm working on, like in my own career. Is I think I've done enough now where I've overdone design or overblown design, or I've done a million stitch and turns, or I've done a million overlays, or I've done crazy constructions, where now I'm like trying to think, well, how do I like craft a shoe that doesn't I don't know, like it holds its own, and it's more, well, it's crafted more than it is um just designed for design's sake, which is, I think it's a good thing that I am where I am, because not every brand appreciates that. Some brands want, it's like overcomplication, and that's how it goes. At any rate, so got that clip now, or that like rubber, whatever this piece is. It's its own thing. This piece also is its own thing. But for the sake of this design, we are going to split it and make the rubber wrap up. Controversy alert. Um, like my intention is to grab this and split it so that it connects directly. I might have to take it like that. Make sure it directly connects to that line down there. Which might require some more design work on my end. So now if I need this color, whatever this color is, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take it. And now I'm going to just come over here like this. And again, I think because the cording's not there, you can like get a little bit more into this stitch and turn and make it sharper to the edge. Everything is just so sharp. I just feel like something just like missed. So now, like I said earlier, I think I want to go in with like a old, like classic kind of Jumpman see-through blue. We will drop it in multiply, but actually, let's do our own layer here. Drop it in on multiply, but we'll see where we go. Let me get this back to multiply. Looking good. Looking good here. I lost track of my layers, guys. Okay, never mind. Okay, so immediately I'm going to start dropping in. Let's do it. Oh man, it's giving me the work right now. This is just a one take thing here. I think I would even leave the Zoom X. I think it would be like fun to pick it up under the rubber, like a clear rubber situation with a graphic on the back. I think that sounds interesting as well. Yeah, I mean, we could move Zoom X around, but I think if this went rubber, this whole thing now, and that, like, it says something to stability and all that, but even if it didn't, we want to see that. And this is just how you build, again, this is how we build colorways. This is how we build blocking potential. And so when you think about a shoe, you always think about, at least if you have panels like this, you're thinking, how do I block it? Some shoes, it's like you can do a complete flood, or it's like top bottom. Um, a lot of the shoes I worked at Brooks, they're top bottom. You know, it's not always uh it's not yeah, there's not like a up and down, there's not a split, there's not, you know, there's I think like the Adrenaline 19, I think had like a really interesting like iRo take where you could split it and you could have some, at least some kind of change in terms of blocking. This one just has like 50. There's like dun 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 dun. There's like all these splits where you can pair things up. Um, but you know, here we are. We're just sitting on this right now. But this is just like a quick take, and I don't know. I mean, we like you tell me, but I think even just sitting here looking at this as it is, um, it already just feels like a little bit more, like it feels a little retro in one end, but it also has like, I don't know, a little bit of speed. It's just like how I would imagine someone showing up to a, you know, launch of a signature. And I'll come in here and I like to finish it out. I would, um, hit it with some highlight, especially right here on this guy. And we haven't talked about it before, but when we hit highlights, I like to come in with an airbrush and just kind of like round them off a little bit as it wraps under. Um, yeah, that's looking good. I might take it off a little bit. I mean, just out the gate. I mean, I just feel like that's already getting after like a blocking that if you were to see that as like the launch colorway of something, I think it would grab a little bit more. You know, hold attention. Um, you know, be a statement. Man, I'm telling you, I can't get this line. Oof. Um, yeah. Essentially, that's what I would do. And yeah, I mean, we can go back and forth on whether or not we should just keep the rubber white, you know, add the blue. Um, maybe it's too much blue. Maybe you need a little something more pale. So it just like jumps off and you catch this like very much. I mean, it is just, it's unique in its blocking. And so I just think, hey, like, why are we not celebrating that? I think there's even ways where you could go into that blue a little bit as well, and get icy. If I take this and I take off the bottom layer, yeah, you can easily just come in here as well. And you can start to see how it breaks down when you do both of them at the same time. All of that becomes like an ice. Um, you know, we can also take it back here to the back, and do another multiply layer. Oh yeah, my jump hands turn on. We can hit the back as well. So we can see how that's going to lay up. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I even like that too. If you house it and link them both together, I just think there's a lot left to be explored, a lot left to be desired on this silhouette. I'm going to leave it like that. Yeah, it's you know, pretty interesting shoe. There's a lot of different scenarios that you can do with it. That's why I think it's successful. Again, I just wish that some of the lines would line up. You get some more of that intentionality as this wraps under, then it like zigzags and then comes out the medial side. Got some stuff going on there. Then you have all of these kind of connect so well. It just makes me think like where's it all going? Yeah, then if we're not digging that, we can take the toe cap off. Or we can do that, switch it, see how we're liking it like that. You know, we can do the whole toe. We can switch the toe up, or we can take the rubber. We can make that black, which I think would be pretty interesting. Take that down. Boom, boom. See, then you start to like, man, then you're just really getting into like interesting situations. You know, and you can see right out the gate that it's not in the best. The layer's not the best built layer. If I just come in here and fill it in, there we go. But even that like shows like blocking potential as well. We can do then what I think is really cool is we can take this, duplicate that, boom, and then we can take this blue up here into the upper, and then we're in a different land completely, which is interesting. Take this piece, take that one, swap it for that one. Then I think we're in a whole nother space. Where is that layer? And it's just building quality stuff. I mean, if I came in and just kind of hit it like that, turned off the layer below it, then you have this nice thing. I mean, the world of shoes, man, is the best. Once you get something nice, which I'm not saying that this is right now, because this file looks, it's built quickly for everybody out there. But I will clean it up so you see exactly how I do what I do. Trying to be the most honest footwear design podcast you can ever find. I want to be your source. I don't know what's going on. Thought I grabbed the right thing. Oh, yeah. Well, I thought I had the right color. Let me be your source is what I'm saying. Let me be. All right, this layer is not a green. Oh, I erased it. All right. We'll go over this. So there you go. Straight up. Even I mess up. So we're going to go out. So what I did was I took that airbrush earlier and I erased a little bit. And because I did that, I have to recolor. Okay, let's make sure I got the whole thing. Good. Nope, it is not. I'm just going to rebuild it. All right. That's better than it was. So lesson to everybody out there. And it's something I learned one time at Brooks. We were trying to render everything out for final design. And I had not taken the time to build my file right. Night before, I was trying to rebuild files the night before, and I just, man, that was such a stressful time. Another interesting blocking. I don't know. It really just feels like there's so many more interesting things for a release than what came out. I just I find each and every one of these a little more compelling than the last one. Oh man. And it makes me wonder, this might be the last thing I do. But it makes me wonder too if I come in here and I actually block it the way they had it blocked, what happens? It might lighten up it might lighten it up a little bit, which is not a bad thing. It's a heavy shoe. But I think I would keep, yeah, I think I would keep that split. Or not the split. I think I would, even if I do this, I think I would really, really try to, oh wait, let's not do that. I always duplicate stuff. If I'm gonna break something down, I'm gonna make sure I have the original saved. You know, like even if that was just a step, you know, like yeah, that might be it. I mean, even if it was just a step in that rubber panel right here, like I'm looking at this. Let's give it a little. I'm looking at this right here. You know, even if that is just like in this rubber piece, you're just catching a little something so that this all still connects. You get this 1, 2, 3. I think that's interesting. I think what they've built is still very compelling. I just think something like this for a launch is just that next level. I think there's something interesting. You get organic, you get sharp, you get more organic, and you get sharp. It's so interesting. This like this it's a push and pull of like geometry and flow and geometry and flow. And I think even the wings logo, you know, they're coming off like this, and they've got just a little bit of radius. You know, it's a push and pull that's like super interesting. Um, but at any rate, I'm going to say this is where I would land. Something with a little more speed, something with a little more, a little more attention grabbing, and definitely none of this, stitchy cord lines. I'm not be in that game. Um, like I don't even know how you would build that like in a way that would make me want to keep it. Um, it just didn't seem rooted. Like I would go for a window or something before I would take just like a cord that falls off and doesn't connect to anything. I mean, there's nothing back here. Like it might tie to this line. Um, it might flow with this a little bit, but it just dives and there's nothing for it to call to. It also might slightly be into this line, but that cord has got to go. I mean, I don't know if how I would have just been fine with that going forward. I just don't think I would have. Um, but I think there's something here with these different blockings. I think this is compelling to see through here, but even if it's not there and it's the way I did it, that's all good. I think there is some lightness here. I also would be fine if this were actually foam. Um, I also think it'd be cool to like think about what a perf design would be like. And I did that in my demo one too. Like what would be a simple little something that at least starts to hint at breathability. Like this shoe just like has nothing. Like there's no tie in to like what's breathable, what's not. There's no I mean, it just doesn't breathe. It's just full grain. So something there that like would at least say that we considered it. But if not, it's still performance luxury. But this is my drawover. This is what I would do. Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you don't. It's all good. It's just one man's take on a project that's not mine and something that doesn't matter at all. Just an exercise on how we get better, how we see design, and how we put things together. All right, that's an episode. Thanks for following us and just being a part of this ride. We are trying to make the most authentic footwear design podcast out there. We're trying to do it, as organically and as smooth as possible. I hope you can tell by my voice and by Colin's that we are just two average guys trying to make, solid content for you all. So that's a podcast. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. We are here. We will keep making stuff. We love talking shoes in a in-depth way. All right. See you next time. Bye.